In this video, I'm going to explore the scandalous history of anti-aging in old Hollywood. When we think about old Hollywood, we often imagine a time where glamour and beauty were all that mattered. But what most people don't know is that Hollywood has always been obsessed with youth and anti-aging. In this video, I'm going to explore the scandalous history of anti-aging in old Hollywood and uncover some of the secrets that celebrities have used to stay young for decades. Hollywood and the larger media have been promoting an ageless beauty ideal for many years. You must be attractive, young, and under 30 years old in order to be desired. Leonardo DiCaprio and his constant stream of dubious younger women are well aware of this. We spend numerous dollars on anti-aging products every year, expensive cosmetic products, expensive procedures, and demanding exercise regimes all guarantee amazing outcomes. Within the next 7 years, it is predicted that the anti-aging industry will become a nearly $2 billion market. Our preoccupation with youth is nothing new. Women have gone to tremendous efforts to keep their beauty frozen by time from the dawn of recorded history in order to maintain their perfect complexions and wrinkle-free skin. Ancient Greek and Egyptian beauty experts were known to soak in enormous baths of crocodile excrement. The paste was applied on the royal hands and bodies. The foul smell was merely a bonus, and that sounds so disgusting. A few thousand years later, virgin blood was frequently used for anti-aging. Just ask the first known female serial killer, Countess Elizabeth Bathory of the Kingdom of Hungary. According to legend, the Countess would have her attendants murdered and dismember village people so she could take a bath in their blood as part of her beauty routine. Since then, the vampire facial has advanced greatly, so this was like a vintage version of the vampire facial. Today, the aisles of pharmacy shelves and celebrity-endorsed beauty treatments are where we might find the answers to our pursuit for beauty and eventually youth. We are stuck on youth, just like the rest of society. And yet why? Why do we go to tremendous measures to maintain our attractiveness for the admiration of men or for ourselves? It's hardly up for discussion if Hollywood favors a young, conventionally attractive starlet over an older, more seasoned actress. It's widely known. According to actor unions, actors between the ages of 18 and 25 have significantly more career chances than actors between the ages of 60 and 80. It's fascinating to note that guys don't have these conversations about their age. Women have to hide behind rows of hair color so their out-of-date roots aren't scrutinized, while silver foxes and hunks are celebrated. While there are many women who have chosen to age gracefully and remain in the public eye, such as Meryl Streep, Diane Keaton, and Jamie Lee Curtis, they are the exception, not the rule. After learning that 30-year-old women were too old to play love interest in blockbuster movies, Helen Mirren blasted the double standard. We all watched as James Bond grew older and older while his ladies grew younger and younger, she observed, adding, "It's crazy. It's really inconvenient." The conversation was further elevated when Dakota Johnson, the star of 50 Shades of Grey, referred to Hollywood as being cutthroat when discussing her mother's and grandmother's legacy. "Why doesn't my mom appear in films? She is a great actor. My grandmother doesn't appear in movies anymore either. Why?" As Dakota Johnson said, "No matter how tough you are, sometimes you just feel unwelcome." In a sexist field, reaching the age of 40, 50, and 60 only spells the end of a career. There is still a lot of pressure to seem young and attractive. Lana Del Rey was right. Women have made attempts to stop the clock since the beginning of time, but along the road, researchers had trouble identifying the underlying factors that led to skin aging. According to dermatologist Nicholas Perricone, you have to recognize the underlying problem in order to treat aging skin. Dr. Perricone contends that inflammation is the root cause of aging skin and has just demonstrated that a potent anti-inflammatory substance called eggshell membrane combined with retinol can effectively reverse the outward indications of aging. However, millions of years have passed before this finding was made. Cleopatra, the Egyptian queen famous for having 2 daily baths in donkey milk, is usually the first person that comes to mind when we consider historical beauty routines. Alpha hydroxy acids, which are found in milk, are supposed to aid in anti-aging. Due to its abundance in vitamins and minerals, it is also beneficial for softening the skin. According to other legends, Cleopatra used honey as a moisturizer and apple cider vinegar to tone her skin. I've actually used apple cider vinegar on my skin. It's really good. Recently, the components in anti-aging products have reverted to being more natural, and many therapies may be manufactured at home. Galen, a Greek, rose to prominence as a physician in the Roman Empire. The fact that he is also credited with developing the first ever cold cream may come as a surprise. Cold creams are made to clean the skin, take off makeup, and leave it feeling smooth to the touch. In Galen's recipe, beeswax, water, and olive oil were utilized. Modern cold creams are, of course, better made, but they still primarily consist of an oil and water mixture. Mary, Queen of Scots. Mary was best remembered for opposing Elizabeth I, but she was also a queen who was noted for her attention to her beauty routine and desire to look young. She particularly enjoyed taking wine showers. This treatment, also known as venotherapy, is gaining popularity in some areas. In its purest form, wine bathing makes use of the pulp and remaining components from the wine after it has been put into the bottle. This pulp, which was once known as the elixir of youth and includes a variety of antioxidants, was first utilized by the Thracians. And next we have frownies. Margaret Crowson observed her concert pianist daughter's unattractive frown wrinkles in the late 19th century. It inspired her to create a clear tape system that could be used at night to help with wrinkle reduction. Many people still use frownies today to help reduce the effects of aging, despite the fact that some may find this to be a rather unusual remedy. And cosmetic hormone cream. The first cosmetic hormone cream developed by Florence Wall in 1927 was said to include glandular secretions from a tortoise and claimed to reverse the effects of aging. It didn't turn out well at the time, but it started a revolution in cosmetics. As we entered the 20th century, anti-aging treatments started to have a stronger scientific foundation, and the industry grew to be a multi-billion-dollar enterprise we are familiar with today. And Retin A. Retin A was first created in the 1980s to treat wrinkles and the signs of aging after being used to treat acne in the late 1960s. The substance is believed to function by increasing blood flow and hiding wrinkles. And Botox is one of the most widely utilized anti-aging treatments today. Although injecting a toxin into the skin might not seem like the best plan for erasing wrinkles, it has repeatedly been shown to be effective. And this one wasn't approved until 2002 to be used on the face, so it's actually quite new. Botox was initially developed to treat muscle spasms, and it works by obstructing impulses that would otherwise cause the muscle to contract, smoothing the look of the face. And the ever-changing business of anti-aging. Death is in fact the only genuine remedy for aging, but our main strategy for coping with this inevitable outcome is to put it off and ignore it. What now amounts to the later of 2/3 of everyone's life is shaded by a profound perception of unending loss. Susan Sontag wrote in the 1972 article, The Double Standard of Aging. In an age in which people actually live longer and longer, in this culture, getting older means being erased. It means being written off from magazine covers and popular movies, And it means being monitored and taken care of in facilities. It also means that women are transformed from desired objects into throwaway ones. We struggle throughout our lives to prevent ourselves from dying. Corporate interests have recognized that they can offer coping methods for a profit. The cosmetic industry is very literally wrangling with all of this psychodrama, continually pressing the appropriate psychological buttons to obtain access to our medicine cabinets. The pictures, the famous spokesman, the branded language, and the sales text all serve the same purpose in addition to the elixirs themselves. Our anxiety with our own mortality, our ingrained habit of valuing women primarily based on their looks, and our growing conviction that ageism and gender norms ought to be things of the past must all be covered up with the bright promise that some face cream will help. And I've definitely been guilty of that, where I've bought a new cream and think that like it's gonna change everything. I don't know, I get tricked by the marketing. Every lady is always aging, and while the cosmetics sector has been peddling items for around a century to try to solve that issue, the products themselves haven't necessarily changed. A multi-product home routine for reducing facial wrinkles that included an astringent, lotions, and an electric vibrator massage was advertised in a 1908 issue of Woman Beautiful magazine. The branding, however, has changed regularly to capitalize on generational mood swings regarding what a woman should be like through a never-ending process of language regeneration. Changing the way we talk about aging is not a problem of the beauty industry. It is an invitation to reposition old items to attract new customers. Early on, men's wishes were frequently where the necessity for cosmetic treatments was found. In publications like Good Housekeeping and Farmer's Wife during the 1930s and 40s, Palmolive published a number of brutally critical advertisements. The soap manufacturer created the condition known as middle-aged skin, which is said it could affect women as early as 22, and then blamed it for a variety of romantic setbacks, including Girls with Empty Date Books and The Wife Who Loses Love. One advertisement included a drawing of a Cupid sitting down and sobbing, "I give up." Other women's critical glances also contributed. Poor Louise, watch how old she's growing. Blair's a 1926 advertisement for an in-store face treatment. Female self-hatred was widely stated. "Is this the biggest emotional crisis a woman has ever faced?" reads one advertisement, meaning "You are fading just a little bit," came in an abrupt, ruthless warning from the glassy depths of a mirror. These advertising campaigns portrayed women as weak and in need of a solution to protect them from the shame of growing old. However, the last 2 decades have seen us enter a golden age of anti-aging, which is an entirely different way of thinking. The advertisements changed from warning tales to motivational tales, showing brave women beating the clock to take control of their appearance. Social stigma was transformed into a violent personal story. Advertising began telling women to tackle, battle, and fight against aging, to launch an intervention, and to use terminology that had previously been reserved for the military. Don't deny it. The age-defying cosmetics from Revlon advised the customer on her rising age. Refuse it. According to this theory, aging is a battle fought on a woman's face that can never be won. Rather, it can only be slowed or kept from advancing like an invading force. A secondary aversion to the signs of aging, as well as the indicators that were attempting to halt the signs of aging, has emerged as the culture has become increasingly preoccupied by the struggle against aging. This explains why the unnatural effects of facelifts and Botox can be unsettling. They serve as a reminder that we're all aging and that we're trying our hardest to delay it, and mostly looking normal doing it. The culture has developed a secondary aversion as we struggle against aging has taken over, one that isn't just directed to the indications of age, but also those that show we're trying to stop them. And how old Hollywood manufactured its beauty. Making a movie star required equal parts whimsy and pragmatism for the enormous glamour factories of the Hollywood's golden age. The movie studios, from Greta Garbo to James Dean to Marilyn Monroe, there was always an enigma, a mysterious on-screen charm that is completely individual to that person. But in reality, that much touted on-screen magic was a labor of love that was painstakingly planned out. It is frequently overlooked how many tools a studio like Fox had at its disposal to cover up those flaws. A huge army of designers, makeup artists, hairstylists, and others contributed to create the impression of carefree splendor through their enormous efforts. At the nearby MGM, the cosmetics department alone contained 52 personnel and was stocked with a bevy of lotions, putty, fake teeth, mustaches, and facial contouring gelatin. This was the first place a pretty up-and-comer went if she required bigger eyes, a fuller mouth, or a few porcelain crowns on her teeth. Freckle-removing violet ray peels were also widely used. According to historian Jan Basinger, at the time, fan publications were rife with Hollywood beauty advice, including how to properly apply Max Factor's pancake makeup and how to put Vaseline around the eyes for a glowing movie star appearance. One of the most involved processes in the golden age studio was becoming a star. But keeping that popularity was another full-time job. Fox press departments went above and beyond the looser methods of contemporary celebrity PR to shape public perception for stars. Before becoming a major star, any new celebrity was rigorously scrutinized by studio executives and given advice from a variety of dietitians, vocal coaches, and posture specialists due to the exclusive 7-year contracts that were the standard in Hollywood during those years. The studio was responsible for vetting, streamlining, and perfecting their stars. Flat chests, long noses, freckles, difficult accents, lisps, and squints could all be repaired, elevated, or otherwise concealed. Any imperfections might be concealed by using a sophisticated combination of makeup, special costumes, and lighting. Costumes were cushioned at the bust or made to hide perceived flaws like big thighs and narrow shoulders. This drastic makeover wasn't just reserved for the naturally attractive. Carole Lombard, who was bleach blonde, was harshly told by a studio head that she needed to darken her hair because she looked like a prostitute. Before making his cinematic debut, even Clark Gable had his hair plucked, tanned, and buckled up. These identity-shifting transitions were usually subtle, but occasionally they weren't. Hollywood was a pioneer in the adoption of cutting-edge cosmetic and dental procedures. Noses were being bobbed, and features were being raised as early as the 1920s. As with Rita Hayworth, who was famously ordered to undergo painful electrolysis to increase her hairline so that she would look less Latina, sometimes these alterations were in line with the white beauty ideals. Many contracts forbade gaining weight, and there were occasionally morality clauses in employment contracts that forbade a celebrity from immoral or poor behavior. Being true to the image that a studio painted for you may take up your entire life. And here are some beauty secrets from the golden age of Hollywood. Hollywood's most famous and beautiful ladies practiced a variety of bizarre beauty habits, including shaving their eyebrows, chewing gum continuously, washing their faces 25 times a day, and making their own hair color from washing flakes. In order to achieve their appearance, you can incorporate the unique beauty secrets of vintage celebrities like Marilyn Monroe and Grace Kelly into your routine. Marilyn Monroe was renowned for both her flirty on-screen demeanor and her bright Hollywood glow. She nevertheless maintained it using a particular method, hormone cream. This actress built up a radiant base that shone and shimmered on camera by layering active Cetaphil cream and powder foundation on top. She developed a thin coating of peachy blonde hair over her face as a result, which was a drawback. She was advised to shave it off but refused since she liked the glow it gave her in pictures. In the 1930s and 40s, May Mae West was one of the most popular sex icons, adored for her stunning curves and glowing skin. However, she had an unorthodox method of keeping up her excellent looks. She regularly underwent colonic irrigations, which she claimed helped her body get rid of harmful poisons. And Rita Hayworth, and many men were drawn to Rita Hayworth's cascading auburn hair in the 1940s, but she had a secret technique for keeping it healthy and shiny. Rita would wash her hair with hot water, rinse it, then saturate it with oil and wrap it in a towel for 15 minutes, just like many other ladies of the day. She would next thoroughly clean it with hot water, a cleaner, and lemon juice to remove any of the remaining residue. Sophia Loren maintains her amazing beauty with olive oil. Sophia's Mediterranean diet allowed her to consume at least 2 teaspoons of the substance each day, and she constantly massaged a small amount into her skin to keep it hydrated and shiny. Even for a nutritious skin soak, she added a few capfuls to a hot bath. And Vivian Leigh, beautiful British actress Vivian Leigh, maintained her stunning beauty with routine facials. Madame Lubadi, a famed skincare maven who hand-mixed scented lotions and fragrant oils to treat English royalty and society ladies, counted the Gone with the Wind actress among her many well-known clients. And Audrey Hepburn, an application of liquid kohl and a thin layer of mascara on the upper lashes, created the baby doll look, which Audrey Hepburn, a remarkably delicate Hollywood beauty, invented. There's a rumor that she painstakingly separated her eyelashes with a pin after each layer of mascara she used to achieve her luxurious and natural-looking eyelashes. And Betty Davis, the reason Betty Davis's eyes inspired a song by Kim Carnes, they were massive, bright and lined free. And how did she maintain their condition? It's easy to prevent puffiness and dark circles by applying cucumbers to the eyelids each night before bed and applying petroleum jelly beneath the eyes at bedtime. And Elizabeth Taylor believed that there were multiple senses involved in beauty. For Elizabeth Arden, she developed her own classic line of fragrances because she thought that in addition to sight, aroma was essential to a woman's appeal and radiant femininity. And Greta Garbo, many Hollywood starlets, including Marilyn Monroe, were inspired by Greta Garbo's dramatic eye makeup, and with a good reason. She would use a very thin layer of petroleum jelly over the eyelids, a neutral skin tone powder up to the brow line, and a dark shade blended into the crease for a dramatic deep-set appearance to complete the look. Additionally, she would apply mascara after lining the upper lid with eyeliner created from a mixture of petroleum and charcoal pigment. And next we have Grace Kelly. Even though Grace Kelly is known as one of the most beautiful, timeless beauties of all time, thanks to her simple style, she had a few makeup tips to impart. She opted for neutral hues that discreetly accentuated her natural features rather than bold lines and colors. She would delicately line her brows with tanny brown eyeshadow to define them, and then she would use 2 blush colors to stimulate cheekbones, a lighter tone over the bone, and a darker color in the hollows. And Joan Crawford, an American actress, didn't use expensive treatments to maintain her smooth face and tautness. Instead, she chewed gum because she thought it tightened up her jaw and helped drain toxins beneath her chin. She was also extremely devoted about her cleanliness routine, splashing her face with ice-cold water 25 times after she washed. And next we have Jean Harlow. Have you ever wondered where the term blonde bombshell came from? Look no further than Jean Harlow, a superstar from the 1930s with golden hair. She did, however, have a somewhat unconventional technique for getting her baby blonde hair. She lightened it using a strong mixture of peroxide, ammonia, and Lux Flakes, an old-fashioned washing powder. And next we have Jane Russell. The simple matching of her lipstick and nail polish was Jane Russell's was key to her seductive, distinctive look. Actually, the concept of coordinating the two was not created until 1939. According to legend, Charles Revson, the founder of Revlon, was eating in a fancy restaurant when he saw a woman wiping her lips with a napkin. A new idea about beauty was developed when he noticed how her nail color clashed with her lipstick color. And next we have Katharine Hepburn. Actress Katharine Hepburn had a strong sense of self and a natural, simple, and slightly androgynous sense of style. She was able to wear light, natural makeup and still appear stunning because of her perfect skin and the neutral tone of her makeup. She frequently exfoliated her skin to keep her complexion flawless. She would massage her skin with a solution of sugar and a tiny bit of warm water and a squeeze of lemon juice, and then a burst of ice-cold water afterwards. Old Hollywood was rampant with scandal, and the history of anti-aging was no exception. From the actors whose careers were marred by illness after receiving injections, to the Hollywood gods and goddesses who could seemingly defy age, old Hollywood essentially formed a secret society around their attempts to retain youth. Ultimately, old Hollywood held our fascination for eternity. Even today, their stars are remembered for their beauty and dynamism. Despite its troubles, old Hollywood left contemporaries with a legacy of fame that will continue to mesmerize us as we peer into its past. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my History of Old Hollywood plastic surgery video. See you guys again soon. Bye.